arguments. It may seem that arguments are just inevitable. We argue with the people who we live with, we argue with co-workers, and it may be times that we argue with people that we don't usually get along with well, or who we butt heads with. Sometimes we don't want to even argue with our co-workers because we know we have to see them every day. But then again, it doesn't have to be that way. We can argue the right way. There's a formula to argue the right way and bypass the tension, the negative energy, the hostile feelings, or the negative feelings we have towards each other, the dislike. Remember, we don't have to argue in a negative way. It's important that we argue in the way that we're heard, we're respectful of other people's opinions, but that's not always easy to do. I'm going to share with you a formula that you can use to interact with anyone, especially in an argument, and actually reach your solution to the argument much faster and easier with practice. Now, these ideas are very easily said. Easier said than done. But remember, practice makes better. It doesn't make perfect, it makes better. So the acronym is actually FASTR. FASTR. We have to remember that arguing is actually healthy. But how we argue really shows the health of our relationships, how we interact with others, and our skill level on being able to communicate with others effectively. Okay. Feelings. F is for feelings. Remember, feelings are just feelings. As Rabbi Pliskin teaches us, we can move from one emotional state to another fairly quickly, of course with practice, only if we choose to. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed, upset, angry, hurt, but we have to remember, we don't have to stay that way. We can choose, for sure, to overcome these feelings much faster, depending on what we focus on. Depending if we choose to make a new start, to move on from this emotional state. Our feelings can make us lose out on perspective, makes us lose out on the bigger picture. For example, right now I am so hurt. Now I can't trust you anymore, you betrayed me. It's true that that person may have hurt you, but that's only that time. And maybe it happened many times. That doesn't mean now you need to stay upset, you need to stay hurt, and stay negative. We don't have to stay that way, right? We can move on from one emotional state to the next. And we can do that with an amazing method of breathing out the negative energy. If the person hurt you, or you feel impatient, you feel frustrated or stressed, you let yourself feel that negative emotion all throughout your body. And afterwards, you breathe it out. You breathe out the negative energy, and then you let the positive energy come in. So you've acknowledged how you feel, but you've chosen not to stay that way, and you moved on. And that's the beauty of emotional states, moving on from these feelings. We can learn this from a salesperson. This saleswoman needs to sell this item. She comes to work in a good mood, in a positive mood. She knows she needs to present this item to the customers. She needs to stay positive. She needs to be enthusiastic and exciting. Even though she may not have that item or really care about it, she knows that she will lose out on this deal if she doesn't become successful in selling it. She will lose out. In the same way, she also removes her negative feelings, moodiness, when she comes to work. She leaves that negative mood at home. She leaves it in the car. She doesn't bring it to work because she knows she won't be successful. And this is an amazing message to us that when we're in a negative mood with our families, with our spouse, with people we care about, we don't have to stay in that negative mood. The quicker we leave that negative mood and substitute it with a positive energy, we don't lose out on the relationship. We look at the bigger picture. Yes, this person did this to me. It doesn't mean now I have to color my world with negativity. And especially, this is so true when it comes to relationships with our spouse. A woman can say to herself, if I react with impatience and touchiness, I will lose out. I will cause myself and my family unnecessary pain, unnecessary suffering, which can be avoided with a little bit of effort and choosing my battles wisely before they become a full-blown argument. And we need to know this is the bigger picture that we're working on. We're working always on the bigger picture. We're not focusing on that certain detail. We're working through it. We're not letting it define our day and our life. A is for attributes. F is for feelings. A is for attributes. Every single one of us, no matter what we do, no matter what other people do, we have positive traits within us. Even people who seem stubborn, who seem angry. The angry person is so passionate. We can learn from these people that no matter what, they don't give up on their anger. That they're passionate. We can also try to be passionate in a good way in our goals in life. Or a person who's stubborn. You can say, I wish I was stubborn about doing the right thing, on achieving my goals and aspirations. That no matter what, I'll get it done. So each and every one of us have positive traits. When it comes to arguing with other people, a good practical tip is think of three things that are so incredibly admirable in that person that you're grateful for. For example, if you're arguing with your spouse, maybe he's amazing at fixing things around the house. Maybe he works long hours and is dedicated to the family. Maybe he plans creative family vacations. And this would be so hard to do without your spouse. And you're so grateful for this and depend on your spouse for this. We have to think about all of these positive aspects and make it clear that the present problem is nothing compared to the wonderful things that my spouse attributes to the family and to me. S is for smart. We need to make smart decisions when we argue. Is this worth talking about? Is this worth arguing over? Let's say a husband came home and he forgot to buy the cucumbers. He's already here. Why argue? Don't make that salad, right? Make the most out of the situation. It wasn't meant for you to have that salad tonight, right? It already happened. So in the future, when you send your husband to the trip for shopping, just send reminders. Or say, just make sure you don't forget the cucumbers. Maybe send more reminders. It's not helpful, necessary to argue pointlessly, right? That was a pointless argument, right? We have to make smart decisions when we argue, wise decisions, choose our battles, and stop and weigh our future words to see if they're technically profitable or are they damaging. Are they helpful or are they hurtful? Now, all day long, we're constantly weighing which decisions to make. What should I choose to do? Should I make a left turn or right turn? Should I stop by the store before I go to work? Should I not? Should I call her to apologize? Or should I wait till tomorrow? Right? We're trying to constantly weigh our decisions and options and see what's the best step to take. When it comes to relationships, it's as though it's a road, right? You're driving on a road. When you're on the road, don't be right. Be smart. If you make the right turn, even though it's your right to make that turn, it's your turn. And that car is zooming through the road on the opposite side, making a turn your way. Is it important to be right at that moment and say, I was right, it's my turn, it's my right to be here? No. That's why, just like in a road, it's important to be wise. It's important to be smart, not to be right. It is definitely better to be wise than it is to be right. So during an argument, a person must try to ask themselves honestly, what do I stand to gain if I keep going in this way? Don't I know from past experience that these fights only led to suffering and to trouble? So when we're smart, we're looking at the bigger picture. Okay, I already had this type of argument before. What did it lead to? Maybe I should try something different because it didn't work. Remember, when we have an argument with someone and all that negativity is thrown into the picture, into the situation, now I have to work twice as hard to fix my relationship. I have to put twice as much time, effort, energy, creativity, and shift my perspective on that person to really win that trust back. So if there's no effort, it just won't work. The relationship won't be renewed and won't be positive. Okay. T is for true. It is important that in an argument we stay with the facts. We stay honest. Back to that example with the husband forgetting to bring the cucumbers. Now, does that mean he doesn't love his wife? You don't care about me, you don't love me, you forgot the cucumbers. Does that mean that? No. It means he forgot. Those are the solid facts in the picture. Stay honest, stay true. It's important for us not to generalize, not to say you always, you never, because it's really true. We're really not perfect ourselves, so we can't put that statement on other people. We must focus on the concern at hand and not what happened many times in the past or what we think will happen in the future. So remember, whoever causes unjustified pain to another person through his words is actually transgressing a serious commandment in the Torah, as it says in Leviticus 25:16. Do not defraud one another, right? Don't be dishonest. Don't give a false impression. Don't do this. Don't be dishonest. Don't blow things out of proportion. R is respect. Respect means you can have a different opinion and I don't have to share that opinion, but I need to be respectful that you're entitled to your opinion, right? We can discuss the issue of concern with logic and mutual respect. In this way, you will benefit in areas beyond the confines of relationship. When there's respect in a relationship, there's trust, there's loyalty, there's love. Forgiveness comes easily, and it's really just a beautiful relationship when there's respect. Even if you did things you shouldn't have done, you do it with respect, you apologize genuinely, you treat the person with mutual respect. It's a beautiful relationship. And in this way, if a couple is respectful towards one another, the children observe this and they're like, wow, our parents are so respectful towards each other, even when they're arguing. This is actually an amazing way to role model for our children, for them to be great spouses in the future. And they can see when there's a problem, there's a solution. We can't sit our children down and teach them about respect from now until tomorrow. They just won't understand until they see, right? We have to act the way we want our children to be. We are their primary role models, and it's an amazing privilege and responsibility for us to be their role models. And hopefully we'll be able to respect our spouses, say our side of the story, our side of the issue or concern with calmness, with understanding of the other person, even though the person's opinion may differ from our own. I hope these ideas were helpful. Remember, F is for feelings, A is for attributes, S is for smart, T is for truthful, and R is for respectful. May we merit to have positive relationships and overcome arguments with peace and respect towards everyone who we interact with. Appreciating the insights of Rabbi Zamir Cohen in his book for women, Happily Married. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming. Awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.